Hey everybody, this is the Crossman Sports Talk Podcast, episode 29. How's everybody doing tonight? We're going to start off, this is Evan.
Gavin.
I'm Pat.
We are short Brian tonight. He's busy doing dad stuff, so we are unfortunately not having him tonight, but hopefully we'll have him next time. So we're going to start off the evening, as we do, with a little bit of sports history. All right, it's this day in sports history, everybody. So, start it off and see where it takes us. So, 1936, American diver Marjorie Jestring wins the 3-meter springboard gold at the Berlin Olympics. Youngest Olympic gold medalist at 13 years old. 13 years, 268 days.
What country was she from?
America.
America.
She's American. America! Fuck yeah! 1948, Cleveland Indians get 29 hits in a 9-inning game. 1950, the first international game by an NFL team. The New York Giants beat the CFL's Ottawa Rough Riders 20-6 at Ottawa Lansdowne Stadium.
I remember that. I lost the parlay ticket on
I
that. I had the Rough Riders.
lost a parlay in 1950. 1969. This kind of makes it crazy because you think about how it is nowadays. But Boston Celtics sold for NBA record $6 million in 1969. Teams nowadays, it's fucking billions of dollars when they sell. It's disgusting. 1994, the first ever NFL game on the NFL Network. It was the San Francisco Giants versus the Denver Broncos. And now we still watch football on the Fox network, right?
Mm-hmm.
2008, American super swimmer Michael Phelps wins the third of his 8 gold medals at the Beijing Olympics when he takes the 200-meter freestyle on a world record 1 minute 42 seconds. And then finally, in 2016, we're back to swimming again. American star swimmer Katie Ledecky sets world record 8 minutes and 4 seconds to dominate the women's 800-meter field at the Rio de Janeiro Olympics. Medal tally of 4 gold, 1 silver, make her the most decorated U.S. female athlete at one Olympic.
Nice.
Fantastic. Pretty good shit. All right. So we're going to jump into some football news. We're going to start off with a retired player. This made me laugh like no other. So O.J. Simpson, he was being interviewed, and he said when they asked him why he talked about not visiting Los Angeles anymore. He straight up, this is no joke, everybody. He said he refuses to visit Los Angeles because he's afraid he'll end up sitting next to whoever did it. Whoever killed Nicole Simpson. He actually legit thinks that he doesn't want to go to LA because he's afraid of that shit happening. He was doing a recent interview with the Athletic. You ever heard of the Athletic? They have a website and everything there, but they're doing right now they're doing the top 100 best players in NFL history, and O.J. Simpson was number 41 on this list. So they were interviewing him about, how he felt and, going back and forth, and they talked about L.A., and he said, I don't want to go because I don't want to run. So whoever did it, and he goes, I think I have an idea, who did it.
Yeah, right.
But, it's you, O.J., you motherfucker. But, yeah, that's why he doesn't want to go to L.A. That came out a few days ago, made me laugh.
I think he's got a right to think that way. I mean, the poor guy. I mean, I would be scared too. I feel bad for the Jews. You know what I mean?
As everybody knows out there, he was acquitted for the murders of Nicole Brown Simpson and Ron Goldman in 1995. The whole famous high-speed chase or slow-speed chase, I guess, down in his Bronco. But he's afraid to run into whoever did it.
If it doesn't fit, you must have quit.
Yeah. So that was a little bit of a news story that came out this week and it made me just laugh because I think that shit was hilarious. So other NFL news. So right now, obviously, we've got training camp going on. We've had some big time injuries going on so far. And I kind of wanted to get your things in regards to the main one. I think that's kind of been the headline, I guess, is the Carson the Carson Wentz injury in Indianapolis. So
And Quentin Nelson,
so
too.
yeah, and
They got the same foot injury.
Mm-hmm.
yeah, so
Both missing close to 5 to 12 weeks.
yeah, so what do you think in regards to now? There's I guess he's out there practicing right now without a boot on. It came out yesterday. They were talking about him out there practicing for the Colts without a boot on. But what is it? Jim Irsay, the owner of the Colts, said that there's no rush to bring him back.
Yeah.
But is that just a thing? Does it seem that Wentz is just totally injury prone, or what?
I think so. Because throughout the years, he's had ACLs. Now he has this problem. Even though they're not rushing him and all that, anything can happen. Even on in the beginning of the season, what if he hurts his foot again? That's just gonna screw it more. And especially for the Eagles too.
Yeah, and
I mean, the Eagles got that first round pick thing going on with Wentz too. That if he plays a certain amount of snaps, like
that's right.
They get the first round pick. If he
All
plays
the
that
incentives that I forgot about that. That's right.
much. So it kind of screws
Yeah,
the
I'm
Eagles.
sure
over.
the Eagles are like, get your ass on the field, boy.
Fucking live out there, man. We want that. I think it's for next year or something, right?
Yeah, they're gonna secretly pay him all that money so he can go out on the field and play, or unless they don't get that.
Put some duct tape on and get his ass out there. I heard that the Colts are, because they were talking about that, should they pick up a free agent veteran quarterback? I heard Mariota's name being thrown out there. But I guess because the kid, I'm trying to think of his name, the kid out who went to University of Washington in Georgia that they drafted, what the hell's his name that's supposed to be the starter for the Colts right now? I'm drawing a
That
blank.
played for the Huskies, Jacob Eason.
Jacob Eason.
Yeah.
But they're saying, I heard the other day that Eason didn't have so far hasn't had a very good camp. He had a good day the other day,
Oh boy.
but he had it. So they gave some first round reps to the kid from Texas.
Ah.
And who the hell is that? I can't believe it. I just watched it the other day. The
Sam
kid,
Ellinger.
Yep, that's it. So
Good pull, Gav.
yeah. So I guess it's right now. It's Eason is starting. I guess whenever the Colts' first game is Saturday, I believe it is. He's going to get the start, but they said Ellinger is getting some reps with the first team. So who knows what's going to happen? So we'll see.
I just think it's too risky to put Wentz out there and then get him re-injured again.
I'm
Maybe
fine.
make the foot worse or something.
I'm fine if they don't play him because they play Seattle the first game
Yeah,
of the year.
or Quentin Nelson.
But what's the difference? Because I also heard that the Colts have the toughest schedule to start the season off. I mean, did you see the beginning of the Colts' schedule?
I have not.
Oh, good God!
It's a rough. It's a rough.
Oh,
brutal.
it's
And the Colts are a legit team.
Yeah.
I mean, because you can't really look at it and look like, oh my God, if Wentz would have been there, this and that, because it's Wentz. Yeah, is the old Wentz going to show up? Who knows? You know what I mean? He took a
Right.
beat in the last few years in Philly, and then on top of it, all the shitty, it's tough to play in Philly
Yeah.
anyway. So
They got us, the Rams, Tennessee, Miami, Baltimore,
Ooh.
then Houston, then San Francisco, Tennessee. That's their first 8 games.
Yeesh.
yeah, it's not pretty. So
It's a rough ride.
it's a rough ride.
It's like
So see what happens.
2-6.
Yeah, that's what-
Piss off any Colt fans. No. I mean, we'll see. I mean, but I think the Carson Wentz thing. I mean, I think that's going to hurt regardless of how you feel. I mean, if he starts week 1, that'll be a miracle based on this foot injury. But like I said yesterday, they said he was out there practicing with a boot on or no boot on.
And now it's going to hurt the Eagles for their first round pick that they get if Carson Wentz plays 75% of their snaps.
Right.
Who knows? Because, I mean, you take away the quarterback situation right now, the Colts are a legit team. They got great defense, great offensive line. So, what is this going to do to them? Who knows? I mean, the NFL, you can look at paperwork and say, stat sheets and all that stuff and say, oh, this team should do this, should do that, but you never know who's going to show up during the season and overperform or whatever like that. So
Right, and they're even talking. Yeah, and even. So we'll have to wait and play it out there. But it also came out like, I mean, he's a pretty good tight end. But Hunter Henry, because New England put a lot out to get Hunter Henry from the
he's hurt.
and he's hurt. He can miss in some playing time into the regular season right now. Bill Belichick was kind of a
Yeah. Good thing they got
not saying much.
Good thing they got Giannis Smith back there.
Jonas.
What,
Yeah.
Belichick didn't say a lot?
Shocker, right? Just fucking mumble the whole time.
Yeah, right.
What's up with Hunter Henry?
Every time he watches press conference, always like that.
And then,
All I know is we lost Tom Brady.
and even before training camp, like we talked about, Gavin and I were talking about the Cam Akers injury for the Rams and him too.
See,
With that,
I think that's
torn
huge
Achilles.
because when I watched Akers last year, I thought the kid was legit.
Yeah.
I mean, he ran hard. He hit the holes hard.
And especially against us, it's like he played his best games. Is when he played.
I think that's going to be. I mean, who's their backup? Henderson is one of their
Darrell
backs, right?
Henderson. And then I think the other ones are just rookies or guys they got off.
I think it's going to hurt them, But then again, I mean, the Rams are pretty much they're pretty much 80% pass and 20% run anyway. So
yeah. So I mean, but that's a huge blow, even how you want to look at it.
of course.
But I mean, yeah, we'll play it out and see. But yeah, we'll keep an eye out on all these injuries. But it seems to be obviously every year for training camp, you get some big guys are out there.
I did hear real quick that the Rams, after Akers went down, they wanted to sign OJ, but he didn't want to go to LA. So.
He's right into the killer at the Rams training facility.
There's also one more thing. Rashad Bateman's getting surgery also.
Oh, that's a big blow too.
And won't return until September.
Who's this?
Rashad Bateman, the receiver for the Ravens they drafted. I forget what school he came out of.
Yeah, that's another big blow. Yeah, especially when you get these rookies,
especially with the Ravens receiving core.
Yeah, their receiving core is hurt right now. You don't have a whole lot.
They need everything they got.
Right.
Well, not when your team is 90% run and 10% pass.
Yeah, so we'll see what plays out. Other NFL news, talking about training camps, and so we wanted to talk about. So a big thing that happens to be going on this year is you hear about, normally you hear players holding out. This year is a little change of pace. We're hearing things called a hold-in. Right now, kind of the big headliners of hold-ins right now is you got T.J. Watt is holding in, so holding in for the Pittsburgh Steelers, and then for Seattle right now you got Jamal Adams and Dwayne Brown are big-time headliners for hold-ins. You can also kind of classify Deshaun Watson right now as a hold-in. Because obviously we'll talk about Deshaun Watson separately too, but he's considered a hold-in right now.
A butthole in one?
Yeah, he's good. He's holding in a butthole, so. But right now it looks like in regards to talks and everything, the idea behind the hold-in is you're showing up to camp, you're not really practicing in drills, but you're there supporting your
Jamal
team.
and Dwayne Brown have been doing that this whole time since it started.
Right. And
they just want to look for a new contract.
And this kind of happened a couple years ago in Seattle when Bobby Wagner was getting his new contract. He did hold in, and he was there, just didn't participate in the practices.
And 2 days later, he signed though.
And then he finally got his big deal. So rumor is Seattle has offered a contract to Jamal Adams. So we're waiting for a rejection or what.
Yeah.
But,
and
we do know right now is he is going to get the highest. He's going to get paid to be the highest safety right now.
Yeah. And
just all numbers.
Russell Wilson there was a thing that came out saying Russell Wilson was offering to restructure his contract, and then I think a day later it came out that it was false.
They're saying that came from his agent.
Yeah, so he's just trying to stir things up.
Because that guy's a douchebag.
He's just trying to stir things up.
He is a douche. That guy stirs more shit than he started this whole Wilson drama with Seattle. I think some of these agents, they want more press time than the player. You know what I mean?
Yeah, and the sad part about him and his issues with the Seattle part of it is he doesn't understand. I was just listening to John Clayton the other day on Seattle radio. He was talking about how he doesn't understand how the cap situations work. And once they do the Jamal Adams thing, they can clear about $4.5 million off that cap, and how they can find them once that kind of happens, then they can start playing with numbers and they can get the Dwayne Brown thing figured out if they want. And Russell Wilson doesn't have to do anything about restructuring his contract because that's just all fucking hearsay. It's all horseshit.
He just tries to make everything have bad problems in camp.
Well, the Jamal thing's going to happen. We know that. I mean, that's going to get done. I mean, that's obviously was their number one priority. But, the Dwayne Brown thing, came out of nowhere.